Good evening, everyone. Um, I'm glad to be back. The past couple of weeks, well, I was sick, and then last week, I had a conference I was preparing to go to, so I couldn't really be online with you guys. But I hope you're all well. I hope you're all doing good. Um, Today, I decided to speak on something that I feel like it is very important for us to all listen and as you see on this title, today is called Watch and Learn. And what I mean by that and what I wanted to discuss is us learning from our lead our leaders, our pastors, our head shepherds, or the main pastor of the church, basically, the senior pastor. And maybe that's your parents, maybe that's not your parents. But I feel like it is important that we watch and learn from them in a sense of as we are the young generation or the next generation, or even for some of us, we're the generation of now, we're the generation of present. I think it's important to, learn from them. So whether it is, taking notes or asking them questions, you know, to you know, help the body of Christ and even the church grow and, fulfill the vision that God has given to them. So I feel like it is important to, ask some of the questions that need to be asked, so if whether that requires you taking your pastor or maybe if that's your parent out to dinner or having a phone call with them and just asking them, what is your vision or where do you see this place going? Like, or what do you want for the ministry? Because normally God gives them a revelation, a plan, a purpose for what they want, for what they want the ministry to be or the church to be. So yeah, ask them the goals of sorry of what they need in terms of for the church and you know as you're doing that, you're becoming submissive, you're submitting to them, and God wants us all to submit to our leaders. There's a verse that says, "Submit unto man as if you're serving God." So the things that we do unto man as if we're serving God, and we have to work hard at what we're doing in terms of our service. So yeah, so submit to your leaders, even though they're human, they're not perfect, but submit to them, stick by them, be loyal to them, um, help them fulfill their ministry. Even if you hear someone talking bad about them, when you know, when you hear someone talking bad about them, when they are not in their presence, don't take part of it. Even stop them from talking bad about the head pastor. Say, oh, I don't think you should be saying this about them. They may think you're crazy. Um, and some of them you're actually defending your parents. Some of them you're actually defending your parents. Yeah, say I don't appreciate how you're speaking about them, and let them know that what they're doing is not right. It's murmuring, it's backbiting, it's gossiping. So let them know it's not right. And also, if you have to, let your leader know. Let them know what's going on. Don't be the person that knows of what's happening and then does not tell the person. that makes you guilty also. Um, there's this thing that let's just say you're at a crime scene. Even if you didn't commit the crime, you could still go down. Um, you can still get arrested. So you could still go down. What's that called? It's called joint enterprise. So don't be stuck in a joint enterprise. So yeah, let your leader know. Yeah. So back to what I was saying. It's important to watch and learn from your leaders. Do what you can to empower and better the you know the work of God. Serve. At times, with our service, God uses that to elevate us, to promote us. Um, so yeah, keep on doing it, and don't work for promotion. Um, yeah, don't work to be elevated. Just work out of whatever you do. Your service should be done because you love God. You're doing it out of the love of God. So whatever you do it because you love God. Your service should match the love that you have for God. Because if you're in a healthy relationship, the reason why I said healthy, um, the man and woman, they serve each other. They serve each other, you know, like husbands love your wives. By loving your wife, you'll be serving them, and then vice versa. Vice versa. What your wife will submit to you because you're loving her. So like it's like being in a marriage, you're serving each other. Being in a relationship, you're serving each other, and as you're serving each other, you're pleasing one another, and that's in a healthy relationship. Keyword healthy, because like if you're not in a healthy relationship, I doubt you're serving each other. It's probably someone is just serving and the other person is not serving if they're not in a healthy relationship. But one day we'll speak about relationships, but that won't be anytime soon. One day though, but not anytime soon. But yeah, yeah, serve wholeheartedly. So yeah, serve your pastor, serve your pastor. And even if your pastor may tell you to do something you do not agree with, still do it. That I'm doing this unto you, God, and not unto him. So I'm still gonna continue to do what I want to do, even though I don't want to do it. I'm still going to do it for you, God. So yeah, pray for strength. Pray for strength. The only the only time I'll say that if your pastor says something that you don't agree with, that you shouldn't serve, is something that testifies against God, something that is not of God. And you know, with that one, that's when you can report your pastor, probably to like the overseer or someone that is accountable to them, because I feel like every pastor has someone that they're accountable to. So yeah, that's the only time you should report it. But if it's not anything that is against God, um, then carry on serving, carry on serving, and trust me, God notices, and also your pastor will notice. So yeah, whether so you never know, like you could be switched from departments. Maybe one day you're in the what is it? You've been made what is it? Let's just say you're the main person that leads prayer. You lead prayer um before service, you lead prayer during the week. You're the main prayer leader. You're in the prayer department. And let's just say one day your pastor's like, I don't want you in the prayer department anymore. I want you to be in I want you to be in the usher team. I want you to be one of the ushers. You cannot react in a what was it, in a bad way. All you gotta do is accept it and carry on. You never know. The reason why you've been moved is because God wants you to be in the usher team. God has revealed to your pastor that they want you to be in the usher team. Even though you enjoy leading prayer and you love leading prayer and you don't want to be moved from there, you never know. God might move you. So yeah, leading and submitting to your pastors. I feel like as we are PKs, naturally we tend to serve our parents because most of you probably your parents are the head pastor, like mine. Naturally, yeah. So you're serving them, and as you're serving them in church, I want to say one thing: don't get your server relationship and your personal relationship with them mixed up, and don't allow them to mix it up as well. So how can I explain this? How can I put this? A church should be church, and then home should be for home. You and your parent or parents should be able to separate the two. So yeah, like if you have to be their child, be their child, and if you have to be their person serving for them, try and not get them mixed up. Try and not get them mixed up. When it's necessary, because we also need that relationship from that father son or mother daughter relationship or whatever the whatever the relationship, wherever you are, whatever your relationship is set up as, you should be able to go to your parents and have a conversation with them about, things outside of church, like your personal life and things like that. And they should also be able to help you with that as well. And God willing, they love you so much that they are willing to, wanting to help you with what you need help with. And God willing, that relationship does not affect your service at church as well, because like it says in, I think it's First Timothy 3, um as for our parents, their first responsibility is their spouse and then us before the church. So when they come home from church, they are our parents. They are no longer pastor dot 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 apostle dot 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 bishop dot 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 reverend dot 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 whatever their title is dot dot dot. Once they step foot in their house, they are your parent, and you should be able to have that parent child relationship, and that is more important than you serving in church. um, I want to make that painfully clear. When it comes to First Timothy 3, it is point blank period that they are responsible to us first before the church. And having a healthy household will be translated in the church. You would have a healthy church. You'll have a healthy church because once the household is all like once the household is all, like not together, when it's unhealthy, um the church becomes unhealthy because the head shepherd or pastor or whatever, like they're probably not thinking straight because they're probably thinking that things aren't going too well at home, in terms of, um, the relationship with my children or the relationship with my spouse. So once that is in order, things can be ordered in order to church and they can be able to minister properly. So if you're not having that healthy relationship with your parents, or your parents are not having that healthy relationship with each other, um, it's important to do what you can to make sure that household is relationship. Whether you need to go to that therapy session, maybe whether you need to go to the person that's accountable for your parent who was ever the pastor, so their pastor, whether you need to go visit their pastor and have a counseling session and talk and pray, that is very important. Um, it is important to do to fix what's going on home before they can go out and minister to the congregation, because we don't want to have um, what can I say, fireworks at home, but because there's fireworks at home, it causes a bigger fireworks in the church, like they cannot minister properly because their mind is not where it's supposed to be. Like they probably haven't prepared their words. They're probably not even in the mood to, go out and minister or preach, but they have to do it. And because their heart is not in the right place, they don't have the right heart posture, they can go out and preach a dangerous message, and that's something that is not needed in the house of God. So yeah, it is very vital to differentiate father mother child relationship and at home, and was it pastor, and whatever your ministry title is, relationship. Try to differentiate the two. Don't bring it home. Don't bring it home. Try and differentiate the two. When we're at home, you're my parent. When you're at church, you're my pastor. So try and differentiate the two. I think it's very important. Yeah. So yeah. Also, like I was saying earlier, ask them questions. Um, in terms of service, like the title "Watching and Learning." My dad, when I was a young kid, my dad, before he became our pastor, um, he was playing bass at church, playing the bass guitar. When he had to play keys, he would play keys. When he had to play drums, he would play drums. Um, so he's the musician at church. Now I'm a musician at church. Um, drums being my main instrument. On a rare occasion, but I might play the other two. Keys and bass on a rare occasion. They'll start coming to me and start asking me to come play bass and keys at your church. I won't. I'll probably play drums at your church, but don't ask me to do bass and keys, please. um, yeah. So that's something that he did, and now I'm doing. Um, what else? He was a prayer leader. So like when it came to the prayer ministry, he was in charge. So the prayer meetings he was leading. Um, as a kid, I saw that. Um, when my grandma would go and take care of the orphanage in Ghana, from time to time, before he was a pastor, he would chip in with the preaching. There's been times where I had to chip in with preaching. So yeah, so those are some examples. But before I got to those stages, not so much the musician stage, mainly the prayer and the preaching stage. I would ask questions, so like, how did you do this, that, and the other, and also not just me asking questions, he would also teach me. So yeah, be teachable as well. Sometimes we can have a lot of pride and not want to be taught, but it's important to be taught. So yeah, be teachable, be teachable. Um, and I'm gonna be frank. Apart from being in the music industry, I didn't really wanna do the other things. You know what I'm saying? The praying and the preaching. I was just, like I always say, I'm cool on my drums. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool on my drums. Listen, I could to the day Jesus comes or comes, I could just be in the church playing drums, and I'll be cool with that. I'll be cool with that. I'll be real. I'll be cool with that. But I've been trained in other departments to do the preaching and the praying as well. So I know that sometimes we want to avoid the pulpit. The funny thing is, like, us PKs, and I'll just say us PKs. I don't know about other people, but us PKs, we like, if you speak to your PK friends, we all want to avoid the pulpit because we know what the pulpit involves. We know what it entails. Like, if someone, like, there's times, yeah, when you see people like, oh yeah, yeah, I want to preach, I want to be a pastor and stuff like that. You low key side eye them and like look at them weird because, like, yeah, it's in the Bible, yeah, desire the offices of the church. But do you know what that entails? Like, do you really, really know what that entails? Because we're PKs, we get to see the behind the scenes of what goes on, and we get to like understand from early what it really entails. Like, listen, is like, it's not about looking cute on a Sunday or at a midweek service and just saying a word and stuff like. It's not about being cute. There's so much more to it. People think you preach a word, you go home, and that's it. Nah, bruv. Nah, brother. Like, you have to counsel people. People, sometimes counseling can be, um, listen, you can ask my sister. From time we were like, even like when we were kids, you can ask my sister, even at my grandma's house, because my grandma was a pastor as well. From way back day, like from my grandma's house when she was a pastor, from even like my parents, people will come to either my grandma's house or even my house today to get counseled, and the counseling is long. Like, it's not like, thank God for like the way technology is improving and moving today. But back then, it's not even like me and my sister could go downstairs and watch TV. We have to go to our room, and because there's not much to do to entertain ourselves, we probably go to bed early, fall asleep. Like, people don't know what it entails, and obviously, because people are people as well. You know, the church is for broken people. Let's be real. We're all broken to a certain extent. We're all broken. But by God's grace, He fixes us all. Because we're all broken, there's some people that are some way, and the way like they talk about your parents and stuff like that, you're like, bro, if I had my way, I'll tell them about themselves. Like, people don't really know. Like, listen, if preaching was just sharing a word, on a Sunday, listen, probably I'll desire it. Probably a lot more PKs will desire it. But we know what goes on behind the scenes. Like, there's so much more to it. Like, it's not just about looking cute on a Sunday or midweek service and just sharing a word. There's so much more goes into it. Like, it is very, very draining. When Jesus talks about your suffering, listen, in this field, yeah, you suffer. You suffer. That's why PKs, when they hear about becoming a pastor, or when like visiting pastors come and prophesy or lay their hands on like us PKs and be like, oh, you're gonna be a pastor, blah blah blah. We'll be side eyeing because we know what it entails. Like we know what it entails. It's not no joke. If it was simple, everyone would sign up to do it. Well, people are signing up to do it, but they don't know what it entails yet. It's when they're in it they'll understand like, hey, this ain't no joke. But like because we are the PKs, we get to see from behind the scenes what it actually entails. So yeah, that is why a lot of PKs are not really into like listen, tell a PK you're gonna be a pastor today. The look they'll give you. Oh no, it's too funny. But obviously when it comes to your calling, you can't really you can't really deny it. Listen, you can run like Jonah. You can run like Jonah, but you still gotta have to do it. Like, but obviously, let me not make it seem like it's bad. As much as there's cons to it, there's always also pros. You get to meet a lot of people, make new friends. Um, for some people, they get to travel as well. So yeah, like as much as there's cons, there's obviously pros, and obviously the biggest pro of all, like when you get to heaven and you do this right. You get your crown. You get your crown, man. So yeah, back to what we were saying. So I just went on a long, passionate run about about preaching. Yeah. So um, I don't even know where I was because of the run I just had. But yeah, watching and learning. Like so, those are the things I watched my dad do, and by the grace of God, I've learned a lot, and put yourself in a position where you can be teachable and ask questions, learn as much as you can, serve wholeheartedly. Always remember your service is unto God and your service is not unto man. Um, and what else? I think that's it really. But yeah, as speakers, don't be discouraged. Don't be discouraged at all. Um, through your watching and learning, you're going to experience a lot of trials and tribulations or storms. And, at times we tend to think all the time it's the devil. Um, it can be the devil, but also remember that the storms you may face, it could be, the Lord just testing you to see like your strength and your willpower and how you overcome the storm. Because listen, one thing I will promise you, and it's not a nice promise, you're gonna face some storms. It's not a nice promise, but you're gonna face some storms. But here's the nice part: you get to overcome those storms, and it makes you it makes you stronger. Yeah, it makes you stronger. Yeah, and it elevates you. Yeah, it elevates you. Yeah. So I think that's all I have to say. I don't think I have anything more to say. Do I have anything more to say? No, I don't have anything more to say. So yeah, that's it. That's all I have to say. Try and watch and learn from your parents or your head pastor, and yeah, the more you watch, the more you learn, the more responsibility you get. Um, there's a saying that, and I love this saying. I always say, it, I always say the saying. The moment I heard it, this saying has stuck with me. Um, the reward for hard work is more work. So the more you take on, the more you'll be elevated. The more hard work is actually elevation. When you think about it, it's actually elevation. So the more work that's presented to you, more responsibility within the church, within serving God, or within your calling, um, the more elevation will happen to you. So yeah. That's all I have to say for today, and I will leave you to it. God bless you for joining, and I will see you soon.